Hey, you guys ready to start this week off with some drama? I know y'all are. Here we go. So, last week in the video when I was in Vail, okay, look up the invoice for the problem with the watch. The customer took it back to Rolex and they're telling us that that watch is not a 2022 and it's not all original. Hey, can you call me please ASAP? Hey, I put calls out to everybody. I've got a couple dealers like looking at it right now to find me a new piece, so hopefully I can get one today. The reason she found this one is I shipped one to my client. I bought it from another dealer, brand new, blah, blah, blah. If you can find one, I'll say I need it ASAP. You saw part of a conversation where, actually let me do this so it doesn't overpower the mic. You saw part of a conversation where I was having a date just returned back to me because it ended up going to a client who took it back to Rolex. I sold a client a watch. The watch came through me, passed my check, it gets to my client. They take it to Rolex and the authorized dealer lets them know a lot of unfortunate news. Apparently it wasn't a 2022, it was a 2006. The factory bezel wasn't a factory bezel. The dial was a dial swap, and there's all this stuff. They basically scared my client. Pissed her off, made me look really bad, came back to me. The watch is right here. So I'm gonna break down some stuff. I've done a lot of digging on this and a lot of research and conversations with, you know, the dealer I bought it from, conversations with the client I sold it to. I actually even called up Marco to get his expert opinion. Did some looking online, and I think I realized what happened. This is why you should not trust what your AD tells you. One, because they don't know shit for the most part. The people that work at Rolex, and I'm sorry to have to say this, not everybody, but the majority of sales reps that work at Rolex don't know jack shit about watches. You wanna know how I know? Because they don't get to see them. The last 2 years, you stand in and you twiddle your thumbs all day, and one watch comes in, it's already pre-sold, you call your client, they come and they sell it, that's it. Their only job is to know pricing. So I'll break down the whole story once I get this watch out. And then we're gonna go do a whole video on this. Now, when I do say this, guys, I don't mean that every single person that works at Rolex is an idiot. There are some people that have been doing this long enough and they actually do know a little bit. But for the most part, sales guys are there to do one job, sell you. That's it. They don't care about your collection. They don't care about your family. They don't care what the next piece is. They don't care about the story behind it. They pretend they do, but all they really care about is getting the sell and getting on to the next one. And the majority of them, like I said, with my experience in it, do not know shit about watches. So this is the watch in question. So this is a this is a Datejust 36. It's two-tone rose gold. It's an RBR version, which means it's got a factory diamond bezel with round diamonds. There's two different types of bezels. There's the RBR, which is round diamonds. There's the TBR, which is baguette diamonds. And it has a factory black diamond dial. The story that my client was given whenever they showed up at Rolex was that this is a Z serial from 2006, not in fact a 2022, that the bezel's not factory, it's been replaced. The dial is also not born to the watch. It also has been added to it so that if she were to ever take this watch back to Rolex, they would not service it. Obviously, it pissed my client off. It embarrassed her for one, and scared her. Made me look bad. So I'm gonna tell you what I know about this watch. And then I'm not just gonna ask you guys to believe me. We're actually gonna go visit a couple watchmakers and we're gonna go visit a couple dealers, and I'm gonna hand them this watch without telling them anything about it. I actually maybe even put some doubt into their mind to see if they can verify what I already know. Now, for one, said it's a Z serial. It's obviously a new style card, which can't come from 2006, which would mean the card's fake. I'm gonna cover up the serial number. If you can see there, it is in fact, well, the serial does start with a Z, but this is also an 8-digit serial number. It's engraved in the bezel, and that's real. 8-digit serial numbers are scrambled serial numbers that were started by Rolex in 2017. In 2006, a Z serial could have actually been a 2005 through a 2007. So where this guy landed on 2006, I don't know. I think he Googled it and the first thing that popped up, or he looked at his index book, the first date that he saw, he just went with it, said this is 2006. He didn't actually run the serial number to see when it was registered or who it was registered to, or he would have known that's not correct. If it were a 2006, it would be a 7-digit serial number. Also in 2006, this is a new style clasp. In 2006, this watch would have had the hidden clasp. It doesn't. So there's another thing that this guy didn't know. The second thing that this guy told her was that this bezel was not factory, and she said that he even pulled a loop out and looked at it for a few seconds. Now, I'm gonna loop it out again, and I'm also gonna put it under a microscope later to make sure that the tabletops on the diamonds line up, because on a factory diamond dial, on a factory diamond bezel, the tabletops of the diamonds will line up. On a non-factory piece, it will not. This guy obviously doesn't know what he's looking at, because this is a factory bezel. You know, the 8-digit reference, the movement. If I'm gonna have somebody pop the movement open. This guy really doesn't know the difference between a 116 movement and a 126 movement. If I ask him, he couldn't tell me. I guarantee he can't tell me even the simplest change, which is going from a 2-day to a 3-day power reserve. So I'm gonna take this watch to a watchmaker, have them check it out, take it to a couple dealers, get their opinion, and then we're actually gonna fly out to Chandler, Arizona, and go visit the AD that scared my client and confront him and see what they can tell me about this watch. So guys, I hope you enjoy this video. Don't be afraid of the dark. The ceiling. I like the ceiling, man.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
So Debbie?
Looks really neat. First off, that's gonna be just a
polish. Come on.
No, there's sand in the bezel. I think he took it to the beach. There's sand in the bezel for that, and then I think it says service.
Oh.
And then for this, I'm not gonna tell you anything. I just want you to tell me about this watch. I have some hesitations. I need to know if that bezel is factory, if that dial was swapped, if that's what year that watch is, what year you think, just from first, without looking at the card.
Let me grab my loop.
Okay.
I don't have one here. Let me get a loop and I'll let you know.
Cool. So I want you to tell me a little bit about that watch, and then I'll tell you why I'm trying to figure this out.
You question it?
Yeah.
Bezel looks OG. That was original. I'll tell you why. Because they're single cut stones.
Okay.
So for sure that was original.
Okay. Bezel's factory.
Bezel looks good.
Just off of looking at that watch, take a guess on the year range without seeing the card.
Bezel looks good.
Okay. Give me a range.
2019 plus.
Okay. I also want you to do a couple things. I want you to open, when I tell you why, I want you to show my people why. So here's the story. So I bought this watch brand new. It's a 2022. It's all factory. It's correct. The watch was born that way. Gets to me brand new. I send it to my client. She takes it to ROLEX. Sales rep at ROLEX takes a look at it, pulls his little loop out for a second, and then proceeds to tell her it's a 2006, and this watch was Frankenstein put together. All these pieces were pulled off of it. Do you know where do you think he would have gotten the idea that this watch is a 2006?
There's no way.
Keep looking at it. Look at the card.
That they
Do what?
That they repainted over the 22?
That was my first thought. But then it's a new style card.
Yeah, it's new style.
He told her it was a 2006 watch. Where could he
There's no way, because the card's changed.
Right. See the serial?
The card's changed.
But see what it starts with?
A Z.
2005 to 2007.
But it's random.
What does random mean?
There can be
Right. 8 digits versus 7.
it's random
Yeah.
serial.
So
I think from what was it, 2000 when they started doing the rehot engraved, 2012.
They started it engraving.
They did it on the
Well, they
41s.
did it in 2000. They started messing with it in 2005. And it was like official around 2007, 2008 when it was like in all the models.
Yeah, but the thing is, you wouldn't see this Jubilee with the oyster buckle.
Right.
It only had the full hidden clasp,
Right.
and I think they only made it in two-tone two-tone yellow.
And that's when
And with the
they
new
didn't
card.
start the random. Well, the new card was 2021, right?
yeah.
2021, yeah.
Right after.
So that was my first. Whenever they called me up and told me, so the first thought was, all right, it's a fake card. So I told them to send me pictures of the card, and I sent it to a couple people, and I was like, no, this is real.
You can. There's no way you can fake these cards.
Right. Well, and then my next thing was, send me a picture of the rehot. Is it 7 or 8 digits? And it's 8, which started in 2017. But then I want to do one more thing since you're my watchmaker. Do you have a microscope that can show the diamonds? One that can show the tabletops of the diamonds lining up?
Nothing that your camera will catch, but
Okay.
I mean, you can see, like, I can take a couple pictures on my phone or your phone, and you can see how the stones are laid out.
But then could you also, just for the sake of this video, when you get a second, can you take the case back off and show me the movement, make sure that it's a
This has to have the new style.
126 movement, not a 116?
And you can tell it's the new style 41 system that they have on the bracelet. It has that little step on the end link.
Yep.
So there's no way you can put it together or Frankenstein it.
And what this guy told her was that it was the 2006 was when this watch was registered, which is clearly a lie because he didn't run the serial number.
Right.
If he had ran the serial number, he'd know exactly when it was registered. My guess is he just looked at the Z, saw that, he either looked it up or maybe he knew that Z serial was 2006 and he just blurted that out, but he was wrong.
I had a situation with something like that with a green Daytona, a yellow gold Daytona, where they swapped the dial, sent it into factory, and they said it was original. They never took it out, they never opened it, they never looped it, nothing. Just
the
because
service center or the
service center, because they said that supposedly the case matched the serial number that they had in the system and the paperwork that it was original. But I was able to tell right away.
I mean, you're a watchmaker. You do this,
I see this
all
every
day, every day.
Every day.
This guy's a sales rep, and he looked at the thing, and he said he could confirm that it was a dial swap and a bezel swap from
no
looking at
way.
it through a loop. And I
How?
was like,
This has to be, okay, we'll open this. This has to be the new system. I have a couple original dials. I'll show you the difference between the old 36s, the new stuff, the old 41s, and the new stuff. Everything is different. It has to be like the old lady style, which is like a cup. You sit it over
Right.
the movement.
okay.
The old ones had little feet. It had feet that you would screw in to hold the dial in.
Okay.
You know, but this is all new.
Okay.
Let me open it up, and I'll bring everything
Sure.
out together.
Sure.
That's crazy, dude. People. New caliber.
Is there a way visually, and I'll be the first to know, I don't know, looking at I know the specs of it, but the look-wise from the 116 to the 126, is there anything you can point out that would...
A lot
Really?
of stuff, yeah.
Show me.
Yeah. The weight, the oscillating weight is different. These gears, the
Okay.
purple wheels,
Okay.
before they used to be solid purple. Now they're cut out. They're still purple, but now they're cut out.
Okay.
Just the way that it's all made, like, it's different.
Really?
The bridge on the balance, way different. You know, there's a lot. The movement clamps, they're using way different movement clamps. Even the diameter of the screws for the movement clamp is different. So you can't interchange any of that.
Okay.
Like, even look, the end lugs, the end link of the bracelet. There's no way you can interchange this.
Right.
This was all made on the new stuff. You first started on the 41s. Then they started integrating on the 36s. And there's no way to interchange the dial either.
Right.
This is a factory dial that was damaged.
Okay.
So this is a 41 rose gold model. This one here, if you look at the back, it's like a step.
Yeah.
It's all, you see all the pre-cutouts.
See the step up right here.
So this is okay. This is for a 41. I'll show you guys the difference on. So For example, like this, look. 2 Wimbledon dials, same thing, right?
Yeah.
One of them is rose gold, which is this. But the difference of them is one of them has a step and one of them doesn't. So this has little feet on the back. There's one there
Just place it on it.
and one on the back.
Yeah.
On the other side. So you put it on top of the movement and you screw it down, and that's how the dial it's held.
So right there, you see those little feet, and then it's a flat surface all the way around it. These, there's 2 of them. One right here, one right here. He's saying you just place that on the dial.
On the movement.
On the movement, I'm sorry, and then it screws it in from the bottom.
From
right?
the side of the movement.
Okay.
So it screws in from the side and it's held in place. This is the other one. Same exact thing, just a step. So this is the old 41, the new 41. Same thing, factory dials. So there's no way of being able to take this dial from an older one that had feet to attach it
To
because there's no
style
place, there's no place for those cutouts to be placed. I was gonna pull the bezel out, but I don't want you guys to freak all out. It has a stamping on the back.
Oh, does it really?
It has factory bezels have a stamping. They have a crown on the back.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah,
Let's see that. I want to learn something.
Factory bezels have a stamp. They have a little Rolex crown and they have a code on there. There's a coating here.
Okay.
And there's a crown here.
See the crown with my naked eye.
Yeah.
I can see the code. Here, let me see.
Let me see your phone. I'll take a couple pictures.
Here you are. You see the UZ02 is the code. And then if we go over here, you can actually see right there. I'll try to zoom in a little bit. But there you can see the Rolex crown. And so what you're saying is that a 2006 model wouldn't, or I'm sorry, an aftermarket bezel
would
not have these codes or this stamp. So there you go. Proof that this is, flip it over, in fact, a factory bezel. And guys, sorry, we're using an iPhone, so it is a little bit hard to get that, but cool, man. Appreciate it. Well, that's what I need to know. I'm gonna go see a watch dealer also. I've got a watchmaker's professional opinion. I'm gonna go see a watch dealer, ask him the same thing also.
Yeah, I mean, they shouldn't question it,
Tomorrow we're headed to Arizona.
It's all OG. Yeah. Right away you can tell.
I know.
Right away you can tell. Like the way the cuts are. Another dead giveaway that I normally notice before I ever take stuff apart. Under the stone, so once they cut out the prongs to set the stone, right under where the stone is usually like not mirror finish, but it's nicely cleaned and polished. It doesn't look all rugged and rough. The metal looks nice and finished.
Okay.
Like if they prepared it before the stones.
Which on an aftermarket they wouldn't because of all the extra labor involved.
I mean, you gotta put in mind too, like all the machinery that this company has. They have state-of-the-art cutting, milling machines. So they just click and play. Versus here, I mean, everything is still hand drilled,
Right.
Even if you use a microscope, I mean, you can't get down to that detail to make the prongs the same size, or specific openings. It's nowhere near.
Well, appreciate it once again. That's why I come to you. Oh, I have a question because people ask me all the time. Are you open for retail business or just dealers?
Just dealers,
Just
really,
dealers,
bro,
okay.
because I'm dealing with a lot of. I mean, if you can take the orders on your end.
That's what I tell people.
Take the orders on your end, and that way I can just, maneuver with you, because it's a lot easier for me to communicate with you or your staff
Right.
than to be going back and forth with one person. It just prolongs the process. I'm not saying that I'm not or I don't want to, but just right now with the pieces that are coming in, bro, it just becomes a little bit hectic,
I get it. I wanted to double check. That's what I thought. That's what I tell people. Because I have people that are like, hey, give me his number. I'll just go to him. I'm like,
Yeah.
I think he wants that. I think
Yeah.
he wants it. He likes the control of it being dealers. We know the protocol. And
Yeah,
everything,
it's just a lot easier. It's easier for myself, easier for you. Like I have full contact with all your staff.
Right.
From
And
Liz
we
to.
keep you busy.
So, with you guys alone, I mean, just imagine how much shit comes in versus everybody else, all the big guys here. So it's easy, I'm in one big group with, these companies, and we all see it. I get a response right away. With these other guys, sometimes it's a hit or miss, but what I've dealt with a lot of outside clients is that they tell me, oh, my watch has a little dent, and that little dent becomes other shit. I quote him for that, and then, oh, well, you missed this part, and this part had, you didn't touch it. Well, hey, I mean, if this needs laser, I need to do everything.
Right. Always a pleasure.
Cool.
Thank you, sir. All right, guys, so we're going to head to our next destination. I'm going to go downtown to the jewelry district here in LA. Now, they're very private. They're a lot more private there. They don't really like to film, so we're not going to be able to carry this camera in. So we are going to be shooting on an iPhone. Picture quality is good. The audio is about to change. Right now we're mic'd up. I don't have mics for my phone, so I just wanted to apologize in advance, but we're gonna try to get some good content. So see you guys in downtown. All right, let's go inside. So buddy, you busy right now?
I'm good.
Do your thing if you need to. I'll give you a minute.
No.
You sure?
Sure?
Yes. Sure?
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm not gonna tell you anything about this watch. I just want you to actually. I'm gonna do one thing so it doesn't give anything away.
Let's see.
Is I'm going to close your eyes real quick. There. I'm gonna hide that. Okay. There. Just tell me what you think about that watch. So legit. Is it factory? What year range is it from? Let's see. I have a client trying to sell it to me, and I'm curious that the dial might be fake, the bezel might not be factory.
That was original for sure.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can tell by the lettering. It's factory. Super clean setting on the diamonds. No imperfections or anything. I'll say this is original.
What, if you had to put a year range on it?
Without looking at the card.
Without looking at the card, yeah. So I want to make sure the card's not fake. So.
It has to be a recent year because of the dial. It's a Rodeo dial. And then it's a random zero. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks too sharp, bro. 2019, 2020. What is it? It's original for sure. New card?
Yeah, 2022.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
So that's what I wanted to see, though.
yeah, it's RBR too. So
Yeah.
the model number shows it's factory. Yeah, no doubt.
Cool. Good deal. You would buy that as a new RBR, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. That's all I need to know. All right. It's 4:07. Brian and I are off to the airport to go deliver this watch for the second time. But this time we're gonna do it in person, and we're gonna get some answers as to why somebody's trying to tarnish my reputation and deliver bad information. So here we go. Hey, morning.
Good, man. How are you?
Good. We just landed in our car. We're headed over to the area where the AD's at. We're just gonna hang out, and grab a coffee or something, do a little bit of work until they open up. So if you want, just text me whenever. You said you're gonna be there around 10 or so?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll text you and let you know where we end up.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll head over there. I'm just putting my Submariner together, getting all the paperwork and shit in order for you.
Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, meet me as soon as you get over there. Meet me at whatever coffee shop or restaurant we land at, and I'll go ahead and do a little review on that to show another thing. So
Yeah, sounds good.
all right, cool, man. We'll see you in a little bit.
Okay.
All right, bye. All right, guys. So we are in Chandler, Arizona. My client Jason is here. Put a little more context to this story. So Jason is one of my clients. He's bought several watches from me for him and his wife. And he's in the real estate business out here in Arizona. He has a very good real estate client that asked him to help him source a specific watch, which is the Rolex we're here to see. She's the one that bought the watch. She went through Jason to get it to me. I got the watch to Jason. Jason got the watch to her. So obviously he's here. He wants to see how this kind of unfolds and also just be part of it to help his client. So I got to thinking, I sold him a watch a little while back, and I was like, hey, I tell you what, I want to show you something else that I think a lot of people make a lot of mistakes on. I told him to look up the serial, or send me a picture of the card so I can see what the serial number is on his watch. Without giving the whole serial number away, if you zoom in right there, you can see that the first letter starts with a U, correct? Now, again, this is a 2017, it's a 40 millimeter Rolex Submariner sub-date. So obviously, if you know anything about Rolexes, you know that this is a ceramic bezel. It's the new maxi case. These were introduced in 2009, 2010, right? So just knowing that, you know this watch is no older than 2009, 2010. But I'm going to show you something where the internet can dupe you. Here's the serial number. So we're going to go to Google. I'm going to walk you through this. So look up Rolex serial numbers. It's going to take you to like Bob's Watch. Yeah, Bob's Watches is the number one thing. So here you go. This is where a lot of people try to figure out how to date their watch. I'm showing you right here. It is a scrambled serial. If you count the digits, there's 8 digits in it. And then if you look on the back, you can see at the bottom there where it's dated 2017. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch that serial number in right here, get the year. Get the value of your 1997 Rolex. And I'll tell you why. Because if you scroll down, and whenever you go to Bob's Watches, there's Bob's Watches, there's Precision Watches, Millenary Watches, there's a lot of sites that have these same things. But if you scroll down and find used serial, it's a 1997. But what these systems aren't set up to do is count the decimals. If you count these right here, that's a 7-digit serial number right there. Whereas this is an 8-digit serial. That is a common mistake that a lot of people make, is going to sites like this, typing in the serial number, and all this system does is recognizes that first letter. Now, let's hypothetically say that was a 1. So what I'm going to do, actually let's change it to 4. This is going to be, it's not even a real serial number. So, okay, so now it's recognizing that it is, it's the first time it's done that to me. Now it's recognizing that it is a scrambled serial number, so it's giving you dates between 2011 and 2023, which again, if you scroll all the way down here, random serial numbers started in 2021. The system can't determine, or it can't differentiate when a letter starts at the beginning versus when it's a random, because it's not set up to count whether it's a 7-digit or an 8-digit serial number. Again, let's go back, do the same thing, and let's just change that first letter, and let's go to a Z, which is the letter in question of the watch we're going to go look at. 2006, 2007. You scroll down, you find the Z, 2006, 2007. This is not completely correct, because actually Z, you'll look at other charts, Z could actually also be a late 2005 as well. That is what I think this guy did. I think this guy just got on his phone, Googled the serial number, not on this watch, but obviously the date just that we're here to see, and just, you know, saw that it was a 2006, 2007, maybe had a slight bit of knowledge to know that they didn't produce that complete version of a two-tone rose gold with the clasp and the diamond dial, diamond bezel, so then he just spouted off a bunch of, you know, nonsense, which was stupid. I can somewhat understand, like, maybe you spouting off some stuff because you got a little bit of incorrect information. That happens all the time. But what kind of pisses me off is where he ended the conversation with our client in saying that this date just is a $15,000 watch. Now I want to show you that, and I'll tell you why that pisses me off. Because he didn't just tell her this was a $15,000 watch. He said, you shouldn't be buying from these guys anyway. That's only a $15,000 watch, after she said that she had paid 22, 23, whatever it was. Now again, if you forgot, this is the watch in question. It's a two-tone Datejust 36. 126345 RBR, I believe, is the, 126281 RBR. I'm going to cover part of the serial number up. If it shows that, you can also see again where it starts with a Z. The RBR references that it is a factory round diamond bezel. When he tells her that this is only a $15,000 watch, what he's insinuating is you should only buy from us because these guys are ripping you off. But it's not a $15,000 watch. If it was, I would buy every single one of them available. So I'm gonna go to Rolex's website and hit Datejust 36. And for anyone that's ever tried to buy a two-tone 36mm Datejust with a diamond dial, diamond bezel, you absolutely cannot find that watch for $15,000. It's $21,850, I believe. So I'm just gonna go here. I'm gonna design the watch, two-tone rose gold, add the diamond bezel. Whoops, go back. Change the dial to a diamond dial. There you go, black diamond dial. $21,850 is the retail. So this guy is trying to take a little bit of bad information, turn it into more bad information, and then try to paint this picture like the gray dealers, secondary market dealers are the problem, when one, he doesn't even know the price of his own product, two, he's spouting off information that's not factual, and three, he's just basically trying to shit on us when he's really making himself look stupid and making, in the beginning, making my reputation look bad, making Jason's reputation look bad because supposedly we sold a Franken watch. That's the whole point of this trip, is to educate these guys that should already be educated. But I wanted to show you guys that because it is a common mistake that a lot of people do make, is they just go on there, they punch in the serial number, these systems only recognize the letter and say, this is your watch. And then without a little bit of education, people don't know. So if you're out there and you're looking at your serial number and you're questioning the watch, if it's 7 digits, it's a 2016 or older. If it's 8 digits, it's 2017 or newer. So there you go. So next we're gonna meet with the client, and then we're gonna go see the dealer. Now I'm gonna try to like take this jacket off and wear just a black shirt, and hopefully they don't recognize me. We're not gonna be able to film inside there. Brian's gonna be outside in the car filming us walk in. He's gonna have a mic hooked up to me as well. I don't know, we're trying to do the best we can. So here we go. Key? Here, all right. Yeah, well, been waiting for 5 years to do this. You're gonna have to like hand him the camera. You're gonna get in his truck and you're gonna film us, keep the mic going. But yeah, just film us going in and then keep the camera rolling so you're picking up the audio. Look, I'm going on a drug grade.
I can already hear the intense music in the background.
Darby, cue the intense music. Here we go. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm Joanne.
I'm Anthony.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming.
Well, first off, I came because I'm sorry you had to experience that. That's absolute, excuse my word language, bullshit. Okay. So let's go in. So what I want you to do is, actually you carry this. Just find the sales guy that helped you, and then I'll take it from there. And say, hey, do you remember me? And I was talking about this watch. I'm just gonna say, hey, and I'll kind of take it from there, and I'll just say, hey, look, I was helping my friend source this watch, and I thought I got a really good deal, but apparently I missed something. So can you help me understand?
Okay. How are you? Good. Good to see you.
You all right, man?
Yeah.
After you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, how are you? Nice. It's a gorgeous store.
Good. Remember me?
Yes.
From last time?
Yes.
How are you?
Came with my friend and helped me, my husband, get this watch.
So I helped her find this watch and thought I got a good deal, and apparently I didn't. So she was saying that the watch was registered from 2006.
It
and
is
that
a 2006 watch.
It is? Okay. And it's not a factory bezel.
Or a factory dial.
Okay.
I don't know about the inside. We didn't open the inside, but definitely the dial and the bezel are not original.
How can you tell?
They've just sold a lot of watches.
Really?
Yeah. You can see, especially on this specifically, if you look at the print on the dial itself, it's stamped on there.
Okay.
And it's not even. The second would be is they don't set diamonds on any watch or ever have in the manner that those are set on that dial.
What manner is that? I'm just trying to understand so I
The
don't make a
bezel
mistake
that's
again.
underneath of the diamond that sets the diamond on top of it,
Okay.
that is not a Rolex way that they attach those. These diamonds are way too big for this model, and that's how I knew they never made this piece with this bezel on it, ever. It would have originally had a fluted bezel on it, which is the rolled gold.
Okay.
It would have been rose gold, but it wouldn't have had this bezel. Very common for people to take those off and to put aftermarket parts on.
Okay.
And there are certainly people who buy these, sell these, trade these every day of the week. To us, because we're an authorized service center,
Okay.
I cannot take anything that has anything on it.
So Rolex wouldn't put a factory bezel on that exact model watch? Like if you bought it from Rolex, it wouldn't come like
order it
that?
that way from Rolex?
No. It never came that way. So you have to go back to the model number, which we had.
Okay.
That's how I knew it was a 2006. The serial number is a
Okay.
giveaway on this one because the serial's on the inside of the bezel. They don't do it anymore, but it starts with, this one starts with the letter Z. They stopped doing it in this manner
Okay.
because secondary people figured out how they were dating them.
Okay.
So when they sold something that wasn't all original, then they would date it with that mark on it. So if you look online and date it to
Yeah.
Z, that's
Okay.
2006. That immediately told me what model, what dials and bezels. So even if you have a 2006 and the dial had been, or the bezel had been Rolex from say 2010, it's still not Rolex. It only has to be within the time frame that that watch was built and what was available in that time frame. Doesn't mean it's not Rolex. It's not Rolex to Rolex.
Okay.
Or to me, because I'm a service center, so I have to follow every rule there is.
So she paid $22,000 for that?
Yes. I don't know what you paid, but it's
20 or
beautiful.
22. So it's not worth that?
I don't know. It's worth
She
what
was
somebody
saying
would.
that you had said that you thought it was worth like 15,000.
If you had an original dial, like if it was available, there's no watch for 25,000 in this model. You'd have to have a mother of pearl dial with a diamond bezel and a diamond dial on there.
Okay.
The bezel alone, if it was Rolex, is 6,000. The dial, if it's mother of pearl, is about 4. So this watch without those on there is about 12 to 14, depends on what year you purchased it.
If it were 2006.
Yeah,
Right,
and
that's-
I didn't go look up what the price points were. It was definitely less than in today's market.
Okay.
The last 3 years, people have been trading them and trading them and trading them, and that's why Rolex narrowed down what was Rolex and what wasn't. So
Got it.
does that mean that they're not going to go back at some point and expand? Because it used to be if you just had 2 parts, 3 parts, say 5 years ago, you walked in and I said, oh, that's not the right dial or the right bezel, I could take those off, hand them to you, and I could put the originals on, but they don't do that anymore. If you took it to any jeweler besides me or then anybody would work on it or anybody would size it.
Right.
It's just because well, especially me, because I'm a service center, they're not, but
So you're a service center. I mean, you've got a watchmaker here, right?
yes, we do.
But a watchmaker didn't pull any of this apart and verify any of that? That was just
They
off of
didn't.
what you know.
25 years of selling Rolex.
25 years. Damn. So I guess the lesson is don't buy secondary market, right?
We see, I mean, her husband's was all, right?
Okay.
He's the Rolex liaison, so he's the one who works between us and Rolex. So if
How are
your
you
first
today?
impression. For us, it's just easy.
Right.
Like we just see them all the time, so it's easier for us personally. The average person walking up and down the street would have no clue.
Right. I got you. Well, apparently I missed it.
I mean, I can show it to the watchmaker real quick.
You can save the time. I actually know a lot more about that watch than you do. I've been selling watches measly 5 years, but I can tell you that first mistake you made was you looked at the Z and you Googled Z and you know it's a 2006, but it could actually be a 2005 through a 2007. Late 2005 to early
Correct. I
2007.
just narrowed the middle.
Exactly, but that's wrong. It's also an 8-digit serial number.
Okay.
Do you know when Rolex started doing 8-digit serial numbers?
2000 later than that.
2017.
So
They started-
Would you
they
like
started-
me to open it and have the watchmaker tell you that that's not a right dial and or bezel?
I would love that, but let me finish because your watchmaker will verify everything I'm about to tell you. When he pulls that dial off, he's gonna know it's real. When he pulls that bezel off, there's a Rolex crown and a 4-digit stamp that only Rolex does.
Correct.
I also want him to open the movement up.
I didn't do that.
Exactly. You looked up a Z serial and you knew that it was from 2006. But what you didn't recognize was that a 2006 watch would be a 7-digit serial number, not an 8-digit serial number.
First of all,
They
I only
also
had it in
didn't-
my hand like 2 seconds, and I did size it for you, did I not?
But in 2 seconds, you told her that it was a fake dial, it was a fake bezel, and it was a 2006 watch.
I
also didn't-
apologize if you
they
feel
also-
that I
I think-
offered to hand it to the watchmaker and have him authenticate it.
I just want to tell a couple more things.
Okay.
Rolex also didn't make that clasp in 2006. It would have been a hidden clasp, which is a full Jubilee bracelet. It's an 8-digit serial, which didn't start till 2017. So once the watchmaker opens that movement up, he'll be able to verify that's a 126 movement, not a 116. And then he can also find the crown stamping and the 4-digit clasp code underneath the bezel.
Okay.
So my last question is, if this were, where's that warranty card? If this were a 2006,
Oh, you handed it.
then,
I didn't see the card, by the way.
okay.
I
Well, if
didn't
it were-
see anything other than the watch.
So Rolex didn't start doing these cards until
Correct,
2021,
much later.
which would mean that this is a fake card.
I have no clue. I didn't see it. It doesn't look fake to me, personally.
Because I didn't bring the case in. I
Oh,
just
okay.
brought the
Just the
watch.
watch.
The other big thing is you had said that Rolex doesn't make it that way, but if you go on Rolex's website right now,
It's 21,150.
I'm not denying that it's not made that way.
My problem with this is I'm a secondary market dealer, and I do a lot of this stuff. And I see,
I'm not saying you
I see
didn't.
a lot
I
more.
offered to tell her that I would take it and let him do it. She didn't want to do that, and her husband didn't.
this is one of my best friends.
I wouldn't want to
And so
either
I'm-
after being embarrassed
I work
like
for-
I
that.
wasn't trying to embarrass her at any means. I was very nice to you, man.
No, you are, but just after being told it's a fake watch.
I did not say I was. Never said it was
It's like
fake.
it's the dial and that's why I was texting.
I
you,
just
so
said
that I don't
to you,
remember.
and I'm not trying to argue by any means.
Yeah.
My exact words were, by sight, it doesn't look right. I said, we certainly have a authorized Rolex technician, and he can tell you. You said you wanted it sized. Your husband came and asked me, and I said, I can give it to the Rolex person. He will open it. I do not open watches. I only sell them for the last 25 years.
So my question is, well, here's my question. If you have a
And I wasn't
if you-
disrespectful.
No,
to
you're
you.
not.
I
I
never
didn't
said
say
you're.
that.
I never
It's
said you're
just that
disrespectful.
I needed
said you
to
gave bad
confirm.
information, which makes me look bad, which makes him look bad because he came to me to source this watch for her, and when she's getting told it's a fake watch on a bunch of
Never used the word
misinformation.
fake. Never used the word fake, man. I said,
Not new and not with the correct bezel. or
I said what I would do would be.
But you
to give
did.
it
But
to
you did just tell me that you can tell that that's not a factory bezel. But I can tell you, in fact, it is.
As I said, I will give it to the watchmaker. I don't take watches apart. I don't work on them.
I
So,
said not
so my
original
question. So
bezel.
that brings me back to the question: is if you don't take watches apart and you didn't pull the movement off that watch, how can you validly tell her that's a fake? That's an aftermarket bezel.
And a big concern for her is she just bought a new watch, and she's being told that you guys can't service it, like her warranty.
I said unless she let me let the watchmaker. Once again, I said that at least 3 times.
I don't remember because
And then
I
your
would have
husband came,
waited for
and I
you
said
to
the
do
exact
it.
same thing. I told your husband when he came in, I said, I will take your watch in, and I will give it to him. I was not trying to
Because I was
guess.
typing.
Yeah, she was texting
I was
me as she
texting
was
because I said
standing
I want the exact words so that I can, because I paid a lot of money for it.
You did. You
and
told
you
me you
said it's not original bezel and diamond. Whatever diamond dial is not original.
And that's
Someone
for
hacked.
2006.
And you said if needs service, the dealer will not take it. And you said make sure the
Unless
water.
we
because you said
authenticate it.
if the water touches, then it will.
Correct.
And I freaked out and I
If
said
the
then
bezel
it's-
is not
it's-
correct,
yeah.
you cannot get it wet.
Which is very true. But
If I left, when you left, I said, if you would like me to have him open it, I will have him open it and tell you what these are. I said, that's what I said. And when her husband came right back, he brought me his watch. I said, this watch is fine. He said, no, I want you to open it. I said, that's fine. I said, do you have your wife's watch? No, you do not have your wife's watch. I cannot tell you what that is. I offered to open it at no charge to her.
the point is that you didn't, and that you spouted off that it was a 2006 without even knowing how to read a serial number. You Googled the number. You didn't know the difference between a 7-digit and an 8-digit
This
serial
conversation
number.
was probably 3 minutes, literally, and at most, sir. So I do apologize
I
for
can look at
upsetting
the,
you.
I can
but
look at the watch in 2 seconds and tell you this is not a 2006 watch. They didn't make this
The
bracelet. They didn't
clasp-
make these end links in 2006. They didn't make this clasp in 2006. And to sit here and tell me that Rolex does not put this bezel and this dial and this watch is ridiculous. It's on their website. This
what would you
this
like
dial
me
came
to
out 3 years ago.
We're not getting any further here.
No,
want
I
to
proved my
make it-
point.
We make no money on him opening it up for free.
I
There's
didn't-
no cost to
I know-
that. I'm not
I
trying to
know
get
that.
any money.
I know that, but why would you, if you have a watchmaker back there, why would you tell them all this information without being factual. You told her it's not a factory bezel, and you still just told me to my face it's not a factory bezel by looking at it through a loop.
And I said,
you
I don't know unless you, I told her, I did not tell you. You guys jumped me. You literally jumped me.
I'm asking questions. I'm a watch customer. If I just brought this watch into you as it was her, and you just told me, like you told her, you just pulled your loop out right here and put it to the watch and looked at some stuff, don't even know what you're looking at, and told me this was not a factory bezel. If you look at those through a loop, you can see that the tabletops actually do line up in a circular pattern. And then when you actually pull the dial or pull the bezel off, it has the Rolex clasp and has a 4-digit code.
And if you go to Rolex, we leave, you can look
I
up.
know watches on there. I've sold that watch is there.
Look at it.
Do what?
Doing
I already
the-
pulled, I've got videos on my phone. I already pulled the whole thing apart. Trust me,
all
I've
on
already
video.
done my homework.
Whole
Hey,
thing.
thank you for your
Did
time.
I-
I'm gonna go outside. If you want him to open it up, you can. I'll show you. I'll go show you videos
Yeah, no
of it.
problem. I
It's-
just, I just wanted
He went to
to.
Beverly Hills and had it completely torn
Yeah.
apart, and everything's video recorded to show you everything.
But if you want to,
No.
sure.
Yeah.
And
It's just
if I
that,
have tools, I can size it for you.
Yeah.
I can size it.
It's just like.
You see this little gap?
Yeah.
You can close that gap by folding that over
Okay.
and pushing it down. So first thing in the morning, that's likely how you're going to want to wear your watch because your wrist will be a little bit thinner.
Okay.
And then as the day progresses, you can just pull that out.
All right. Okay.
And that's how, let me center it on your wrist. That's how you're going to want to wear it. Does that feel comfortable?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Or maybe.
Let me see.
Yeah.
You want me to add, let me add one more
Add
link
one
to
more.
it? Yeah, absolutely. I can do it in 2 seconds.
Okay.
5 seconds. Dude, oh my God. I had a boner in there. Sorry. My heart was like,
He told you exactly the same thing he told her the other day.
yeah.
So
And
if
he was,
Corrected him the whole way?
dude, he was
you
so
didn't know
happy.
any better, you would think that you got completely ripped off.
He was so happy telling me that stuff too.
Oh, really?
Dude, you could see like the joy in his face when he was schooling me. And he even made the comment, he was like, I've been doing this 25 years. Well, I was like, I let him know I've only been doing it a measly 5 years.
He said Rolex never put that diamond on that watch. You can't buy it. It's clearly fake. The print on it is fake, and the diamonds are fake.
He said that.
Yeah.
Do me a favor real quick. I don't have my thing, so hold that just like that. This is not the luxurious way to do this. Normally I have gloves on, I'm sitting at my desk, and I take that back. I actually sized a Batman for Cam Hayward once with a paperclip.
Oh, shit, yeah.
You remember that?
The best part was when he went and got another guy in the store and said, "This is our
Our
Rolex
liaison.
guru, our liaison." And that guy looked at the watch and knew that it was real
Yeah.
and was trying not to call him out in front of
No
him.
way.
And he just didn't say nothing. He just handed the watch back because he knew the guy was full of shit.
And he didn't tell me about.
He didn't tell you there was a watch.
He
Well-
didn't tell me there's a watchmaker. I would have loved to listen because already I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God. It's
Yeah,
fake.
because you would have said yes. Please have him look at it.
Yeah.
and
Here's the
they would've
thing.
told you.
I didn't
Here's the
know
thing.
about it.
He wanted to sound smart.
Yep.
The correct thing to do would have been, look, here's what I suspect with this watch, but I want to show you why.
Yeah.
We have a watchmaker in the back. If you don't mind, give me
Yeah.
5
He
minutes.
didn't
I'll have my
know that.
watchmaker take it apart and bring it out here and let him explain it to you because he's actually the professional. Once again, I am sizing expensive watches in a parking lot, but we are making do with what we have. Damn, I wish you had a video, bro. He literally pulled the watch. He pulled his loop out as soon as I handed it to him. And I was like, I'm afraid, I was told that this bezel's fake. He pulled his loop out. Yep. And I was like, damn.
That's when he said that he knows that it's fake. And Anthony goes, well, how do you know? And he goes, 25 years of selling Rolex.
What the?
And he goes, I know that they never made this bezel. And I know that they didn't put these diamonds on this.
Wow.
Yeah, he
How
started.
come you're not wearing a Rolex yourself? Which one is that one?
Richard Mill.
That's a Richard Mill. That's a $400,000 watch.
I know you guys are gonna say it's camera trickery, but I was actually wearing these gloves the whole entire time because it's the professional way to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, let me set this for you real quick. Today is the,
18.
and give me just a second, and I'm gonna ask you exactly what time it is on your phone. You can wear this watch if you get in the pool, if you get in the bath, the shower, anything. If you wash your hands, this watch is waterproof. Train yourself to just touch that crown and just make sure it's tight.
Okay.
Just snug. There's a double gasket in there that's gonna keep water out if you happen to have it open, but rather than risk it, just anytime you're about to wash your hands or get it wet, just
sure it's
touch that
tight.
little crown real good, and you'll be good to go. So you're set. I added a link.
Perfect.
Got a little, there you go. That's
Yeah,
perfect. It's got a
that's
little bit of
perfect.
leeway. It's not too loose, not too tight.
Perfect.
Good?
Such
Yeah.
a beautiful watch.
It is. So you can imagine you're told all those things after.
That's why we flew out here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to handle that over the phone. We're going to handle that in
so
person.
much for
Absolutely.
doing that. That means a lot to me.
Well, it was, one, I stand behind my skill set and my expertise and my reputation. But it wasn't even just my reputation on the line too. It was Jason middlemaning this for us. So I had to, the only way to fix something like this is to come out here and do it in person. So
I appreciate it. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much. I appreciate it.
you have my card.
Thank
If you ever have any questions,
Sure.
please call me.
I will.
Call Jason, anything.
I will.
I'd be glad to do it again.
I appreciate this.
On to the next AD. We'll take them all down.